across to the Isle of Wight in order to go to the Contessa 32 rally that is happening on the Isle of Wight, and we've just been down to the dockside and had a look at various boats, and I knew we was coming yesterday and spoke to the guys in the yard about it, and they said take lots of photographs of how people have rigged their boats, because with all of these things, although the basics are the same, the finer details can vary greatly, so go and gather as many ideas as you can, and we'll talk it through when we get the equipment and start looking to fit it.
It's been quite interesting seeing some of the boats and how they have rigged, and that's given us a lot of ideas to go back with to James.
First boat we looked at had self-tailing winches, but a couple of cleats in between them, which I think we won't have. They've obviously got a turning block for the guy here, and that's exactly how we'll do it. There's a turning block for the sheet back aft, and note the cranked stanchion. We're going to order a couple of those. As we go up to the foredeck, we've got the spinnaker pole lying on the deck like that. That's how we'll do that, and I'll come back to that in a second. The downhole runs down port and starboard side. This boat has an inner forestay, and we won't be having one of those, but there's a lot here to learn from. Talking about the pole downhole, we really liked the way this one came aft and then turned up into the cockpit, and we're going to copy that as well. Some boats have towable Genoa cars that turn up into the cockpit like this, but that's not an issue for us. This boat didn't have a strut for the kicker, but we'll put one of those in. Talking to them, it's one of the things they're going to buy next. I've talked a lot in previous episodes about the instruments above the companionway, and this was an option, and it's given me some thoughts, and I'll talk to the guys about that as well. This boat had and I'm sorry about the light here, but the pole supported vertically on the mast. We're not going to do that. We're going to have our poles connected to the deck, very much like this one, although we won't have a carbon pole. It was interesting to see the number of main sheet and track options on display. Many choices. I think we're going to go for a 6-to-1, 3-to-1 system, just for ease of use. It's very useful to see how people have brought their lines aft, and there was everything from 2 lines all the way to 6. I think we're right with 5 either side, but we'll see how that goes. Last thing we looked at was the spray hoods and cockpit tents, and there was a wide range on show, so we've got some ideas of some suppliers for this, so we'll go and have a look at it. And as we were wandering around, we were invited back for a mince pie, and the boats were all very lovely in the way they were dressed up. So the previous engine exhaust was both too small, and the plastic fitting at the end of it had gone a bit brittle, so that's been replaced. And we've also got a fitting in for the bilge pump, and I think these look rather splendid. Still got to put the heater in the back end, but there we go. And I spent the day spending a bit of time sanding the door from the heads to the saloon. It took its first coat of varnish, 50-50, and it just soaked straight in, so it'll take a few more coats before it's anything like as good as the quality that Nick has done. There was also the drawers for the galley. This will be for cutlery. Put a quick coat on those as well. In the meantime, the fridge has gone in, and that's all been put together. It looks good, and the fridge compressor has gone into its exact point underneath there. The gas valve has gone in, and some of the woodwork has gone in to make that usable. The water tank is now in, and that's slid in nicely, exactly as we had hoped. So here's a before shot of the space that we needed to put it in, and here is the after shot of it sitting in there before the bearers have gone in. It obviously got connected up and will be ready to go pretty shortly, and the cabin sole has been placed back in on top of it. And so we shouldn't need to get in there very often, other than to just get to the inspection hatch and that sort of thing. Looking back at the fitting, I was asked how big it was, and it's a very odd shape, so it's difficult to give exact dimensions, but it's made by Tech Tanks, and it is 57 litres, which isn't huge, but it's about 1.4 metres long, 0.4 of a metre deep, and 0.3 of a metre wide. But as I say, it's a very strange shape in order to fit into the bilge, and I think I learned a lot about templating when the guys were doing this work. I hope you enjoyed looking at the other Contessas as much as I did. It was a very fine day out. One of the reasons for picking a Contessa was the fact that the association is active and there are racing and social activities associated with that. And it was really lovely to have been invited and hugely enjoyable to have taken part. On the boat itself, a number of things are coming together very nicely. Not shown today, but I've got quite a few things backing up for you, which I hope you're looking forward to, including the mast having arrived. And I had a really lovely conversation with Simon and James, who are sourcing the electronics, and they've come up with some ideas that I hadn't considered, and that is the big advantage of a little bit of dialogue in this space. I hope you enjoyed the video.